The Lexus LS, it's the pinnacle of the lineup. It's everything they have to offer in their vehicle lineup. It's their most bold statement, and it's all new for 2013. So, will I be impressed? Let's find out. You can definitely see the family resemblance to the GS350, which I recently tested. They paid special attention to the lights on the LS. You can have them all in LED if you desire. Also note the very aggressive dual exhausts. Now if you opt for the F Sport version, it's going to look a bit more aggressive on the outside. You get the 19-inch alloy wheels and the blacked out mesh grille. Inside they paid special attention to the interior. It's what they call a horizontal theme. Note the wood running along the steering wheel and the dash horizontally. Amazingly, the seats have 12-way power, and that's just for the passenger. The driver gets 16 power adjustments. Plus, all of the seats are heated and cooled separately, including the rear occupants. The level of detail is really quite impressive. Some of the buttons are even aluminum. Lots of storage here, two-tiered. You've got a charger there, and another charger up here. You also have some controls for your transmission. You push for normal. There's also a comfort eco setting, snow, and you can put it on a high ride height if you like. But of course, there's Sport and Sport Plus too. Very nice. You get push button start and of course dual zone climate control, but they take it a step further. In any of the 4 seats, they have sensors, and if it senses that you're cold or hot, it'll use the automatic seat heaters or coolers to adjust your temperature, even before the car warms up or cools down. Amazing. Now in the Sport version, the theme is darker. You'll notice it's all black in here, and the wood is gone. You're now replaced with aluminum accents, and you really don't miss the wood. But what you do get is slightly different dash configuration here. You can't control the passenger seat here. You actually have to control it on the side over here. And you'll also notice with the Sport version, look at those cool pedals. It definitely means business. I think this hybrid version here with the bamboo is my favorite. Just look at the color combination. Striking. Especially with the blue exterior. Now, of course, Lexus didn't forget about the rear seat occupants. In fact, many will be chauffeur driven. This is the executive package. It has a separate center console and 2 separate seats. Now, the standard version will give you seating for 3 across. Now, if you do opt for the executive version, well, you've got a lot of options back here. There's options for comfort, and of course, there's even shiatsu massage. Very impressive. But wait, there's more. You can also bring this up, pull it out, and you've got a tray table. Very nice. You also get this cool DVD rear entertainment screen in which you can listen to satellite radio, AM, FM, you can download apps, and of course, you can also watch DVDs, even Blu-ray. But there's also another remote control for that. Remote and also massage. Just the feel of the controls. The way that moves there like an analog clock. The attention to detail is really impressive. When you turn a knob or press a button, start the engine even, it really just feels polished. And like I said earlier, these are made out of aluminum, real aluminum, and you can even adjust even the passenger seat sitting in the driver's seat. So, you know, it's just a level of refinement and convenience that's above and beyond. And if you don't like the feel of the mouse, well, you can also adjust that too. So that's a nice thing to have too. Basically, everything that you need in this car is offered. The trunk features a pass-through for skis, and of course is big enough to hold anything you need it to. I have seen bigger trunks, but this one looks like it'll get the job done. Definitely swallows up all this gear well. Powering the all-new Lexus is a V8 rated at 386 horsepower for the rear-wheel drive version, 360 for the all-wheel drive version, and the first V8 hybrid gets 438 horsepower. It's pretty interesting to note that this is the first engine I've seen that you really can't get into without tools. 0 to 60 is rated at 5.5 seconds for the rear-wheel drive version, 5.7 seconds for the all-wheel drive version, and the hybrid is the fastest at 5.4 seconds. Of course, the hybrid delivers the best fuel economy at 19 in the city and 23 on the highway, with 20 expected overall. For the rest of the lineup, it's 16 in the city, 24 on the highway, and 19 miles per gallon overall. Now, of course, all this luxury doesn't come cheap. The LS starts at about $72,000, and that gets you the rear-wheel drive version. You can step up to all-wheel drive if you like. There's 2 different suspension settings, not counting, of course, the Sport version, and that's the F Sport. And of course, there's a hybrid version as well, and you can get the long wheelbase version with all the fancy things in the back seat there, including shiatsu massage. But anyway you go, I like the fact that you're accelerating to 60 in the mid 5-second range. I think that's good performance. So the LS here is a car that says, okay, this is Lexus and this is the LS, and this represents our core values. So whether you choose to buy the GS350, the CT200H, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're going to get a little bit of this fine LS in that car. Now, speaking of the suspension, you can get a coil suspension or an air suspension. And either way you go, you still get a sport setting. Basically, the sport settings will adjust the ride. They'll adjust even the level of power steering input. And of course, the throttle response. And for such a big car, it gets up and goes. Now, switching it into the sport mode, you get a little red display on the screen, and it says sport, and you can feel and hear the difference. It's pretty fun in the turns, and it does feel smaller than it actually is, because it's a pretty big car. Lots of luxury, and surprisingly, great handling too. Now, there is a comfort and an economy mode, but that's not what I want. I want the most out of the performance. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to put it in, not the sport mode, but the Sport S mode. And basically, that gives you as much performance as this LS will muster. So let's see what it means. Good throttle response. Nice raspy engine sound. I like that. Even though this is really a very luxurious car, it still does have some sport in it. And it's fun. On a nice windy road like this, you really appreciate the handling. Definitely takes on a different personality as opposed to the hybrid or just the regular version or even the all-wheel drive version. So I'm cruising along here on the highway with cruise control on, and I have it set to 6 miles over the limit, which is 71 miles an hour. But I'm only going 54 miles an hour, and that's because the traffic in front of me has slowed down. So this car will actually slow you down and keep pace with traffic, and you don't have to do anything. If the road clears out in front of you, it'll speed back up. Also, it'll stop you in the event of emergency. It uses cutting-edge technology to watch when you can. Even at night, it's going to do the same thing, so it's really pretty amazing. It's got lane keep assist to help you keep in your lane. It'll also warn you with the blind spots with lights near the mirrors. So really, this car is doing everything it can to make sure that you stay safe, even if you're not paying attention. Even though I seem to be stuck in the traffic of Tucson here, I still can look at this Shimoroku wood, and it gives me a bit of zen. Also, the bamboo dash. It's a very calm and relaxing environment, and the fact that this one is a hybrid makes it all that much better. Of course, you can still put the hybrid in that Sport S mode and get more power out of it, so You can set it up any way you like, and it's nice and zen. Just like the mountains of Tucson.
Your destination is ahead.
And I've arrived at that destination in the utmost comfort, thanks to the Lexus LS 460.
You have arrived at your destination. The route guidance is now finished.
Now, with competition out there from the likes of BMW, Audi, Mercedes, even Aston Martin, Maserati, even Ferrari now makes a 4-seater. You know, it's getting to be a really crowded field there. And I think Lexus does stand out on their own. This is a car that, you know, I've driven even 10-year-old LSs, and this one has the same sort of familiarity. It feels the same. Of course, this one is much more polished, and it's just so comfortable sitting here with the cooled seats and its ability to just determine whether you're hot or cold and fix itself for you. I mean, it's really amazing, and the technology is there. It'll stop you, it'll keep you out of danger, but most importantly, it looks like a Lexus and it feels like a Lexus. And I think they should be proud of this car. You know, 3,000 out of 6,000 parts are new, and they have 15 firsts. And that's something. You know, this is a feat of engineering, and yet it does all the things you want it to do. It's comfortable, it's luxurious, it's fast, and you can even be chauffeur driven if you like. So I am very impressed with the LS, and I think you will be too. I'm Drivin Ivan Katz.